Probably one of the most universal one is your very different way of thinking, like you said just now. And surely there would be some times where you get more ideas, some are less ideas. What is that environment which is most conducive for you, where you get the most fascinating, the most mind-blowing ideas for you?
I think earlier I think the early part was in the washroom. I think that's where the best ideas come around, while you're having a shower or in the washroom.
Okay.
So that was the center of ideas.
That's not so eco-friendly these days. You can't have such long showers.
I think that was then. I think now every ideas have been found. I think how you structure the ideas and convert them into business ideas is through an iterative process. When you bounce the ideas, you get a feedback. So it's a session which we do with your counterpart or your sounding boards. I think that's where ideas emerge into executable ideas.
Okay. Moving to Mr. Miller. There, Saks, absolutely iconic today as it has been earlier. And US in many ways is seen on the forefront of whatever we would call as modern retailing. So it was modern in 1900, it was modern in 1950, it was modern in 1970, it is still modern today. So whether you see the catalogs, whether you see the big department stores, when you look at the specialty stores, US in many ways has been on the forefront. So surely the leadership in the retail businesses behind such iconic names, which are known not only just in the US, but even known all over the world, including in India. What would define you there as one of those titans, one of those icons? How are you similar to other icons of your era, and how you are different? Maybe you can share some light with us on this.
Well, it's interesting because I'm a professional manager versus a founder or a family business, much like Vittorio. So, and in the latter part of my career, I was vice chairman of Lord & Taylor, and then I was president of Neiman Marcus and CEO, chairman of Marshall Fields, and then chairman of Saks Fifth Avenue. All very different situations in different environments with different goals of the owners of the business, serving different customers. So I think for a professional manager to understand the lay of the land, and the lay of the land is not only the customer you're trying to serve, but it's the people you're working with, and it's the people you're working for, because you're always working for somebody. You're working for a board, you're working for a boss, or you're working for shareholders, and then to be able to adapt to that. And I think adaptability for a professional manager is of critical importance. Neiman Marcus was you all have probably heard of the name Stanley Marcus. Stanley Marcus was one of the really great merchants in the United States. And he actually transformed the city of Dallas from a little cow town to becoming a very sophisticated city by virtue of what he did with his store. And I was two people away from him in terms of succeeding him. And this tremendous, Stanley, it was Mr. Stanley, and he was such a force, and he was still in Dallas, and he was still very present. He'd come in the store, people loved him and revered him. And you just had to understand that, and you had to understand how to manage what you think, where you wanted to take the business versus where it was. In the situation at Saks Fifth Avenue, the company was a public company. It was taken private by Investcorp, which is a private investment firm, and their goal was to take the business and at some point take it public again. So it was a very financial. They really didn't care about the subtleties of. This bag is much better than that bag, and this is a beautiful fabric, and this is a fabulous display. They did and they didn't. But the goal was to get the profitability to a level that they could take it public again and take their money out. So serving the customer is obviously what we're all supposed to be doing. But you can't do that unless you've got the other elements, the people that you're working with, the people you're working for, and then having an understanding of your environment. And I think that as I look back on my career, the best decisions I ever made were about people, and the worst decisions I ever made was about people. And when I had the good people and a good team, we were successful. And when I made mistakes and bad judgment,